Geometry Dash. Simply said, it is a game where you control a specific shape across many different kinds of obstacles on many different levels to a specific song. And well, it's a game that I somehow absolutely despise and like at the same time. But you might be saying, what the heck does even Geometry Dash have to do with Napoleon or anything similar at all? Well, nothing really. But either way, today we are going to be taking a look at what would happen if one random day, let's say at around the start of the Napoleonic Wars, a phone with just Geometry Dash on it was magically given to Napoleon, and he became addicted to the game and started frequently raging insanely hard at the game. And well, our story starts off on one random day. As Napoleon would be sitting in his room, suddenly what he would describe as a magical brick-like tool would show up in his hands, presenting on its screen what he would describe as weird shapes and colors. Slowly but surely, Napoleon would start playing the supposed game he had just somehow magically gained, more and more, repeatedly getting better and better with each attempt. But as he got better and better at the same level, he would become thirsty for more, for harder levels, for more of a challenge, something that would further test his limits. And from this point onwards, he would officially become hooked and addicted to this game of his, playing the game alongside his main tasks in real life too, which would be good and bad. It would be good because he could crush his free time that he didn't know how to spend by playing this game, whenever he had free time that is, and it was a nice way for him to have some short and fast-paced fun. But there was also a bad side to this too, a scary side, some people might say, and that is that his attention span would shrink rapidly. He would lose his temper much more easily, and he would also get distracted and snap a lot more easily. Meaning that friends, without enough attention being drawn to it and its situation in the Napoleonic Wars, would probably still perform well, but would definitely underperform and or perform quite a lot worse than in our own timeline. But, well, you know when I said that Napoleon would rapidly lose his temper a lot more frequently? Well, little did everyone around the world know what this would develop into. And the world would see what this rage and or temper loss inside of him of playing Geometry Dash for all this time would mean when unleashed in its entirety for the first time during the Napoleonic invasion of Ottoman Egypt. He would coincidentally start to heavily lose in Geometry Dash. With this, a massive amount of anger would start to fill up inside of him, and he would feel the urge to need to desperately empty out his rage at somebody or something, or by doing something. And so, in the next battle against the Ottoman Egyptian forces, Napoleon would be so enraged because of his recent losses in Geometry Dash that his rage would be felt and transferred onto his soldiers, and he would completely and utterly annihilate the Ottoman Egyptian force. Not a speck of a single man left. Complete and utter destruction like never before. This would absolutely terrify the Ottomans, but especially Egypt, after which they would plead to Napoleon for a peace deal, and since Napoleon would feel nice, he would annex all of the Ottoman colonies in Africa, as well as all of Hijaz, Assyria, Transjordan, and many other lands. After this enormous victory, he would return back home to focus on Europe, where he would absolutely sweep the floor with all of Europe. As nation after nation tried to contest him, each nation's armies got absolutely decimated by Napoleon's rage, fueled by the enormous amount of time playing Geometry Dash and raging over it every single day. And so, after defeating the coalitions a few times, he would feel pretty nice, and he would annex all of Austria and all of Prussia as well, and leave the rest of the land to his faithful play buddy in Bavaria. But after these victories, Napoleon would set his sight on Russia, his final big wish, his final big conquest to seal his roughly 15-year rampage. And as Napoleon prepared, he soon strikes into Russia with full might, expecting a quick victory. But something unexpected would happen inside of Russia. The cold weather would strike, and while playing Geometry Dash on his phone would suddenly fall into the snow. He would simply pick it back up, but upon picking it back up, he would realize that the phone didn't work anymore. And with that, Napoleon would die, due to his mental status deteriorating to that of a madman and his brain literally shrinking to the size of a pea. He would die in Moscow, mouth full of foam. Napoleon died, and in the next few weeks, his empire died along with him too, Russia and Britain would feel kind, so they would divide all of Europe between each other, because of course the Pope drew some random lines along the map. But anyhow, to conclude this video, people, this is why you shouldn't play Geometry Dash, or any game as a matter of fact, and get so hooked onto it, because one day you might just end up like Napoleon. Hopefully not, but you never know.